G'day everyone, welcome back to the shop. Got a little job come in today and it's from one of my viewers, a gentleman called Grant, and he wants to make himself a great big belt linisher. So he's bought a pulley from overseas and it's quite sexy looking, obviously CNC machined. However, the shaft hole is way too small. So we're going to have to enlarge that hole, broach a keyway, and I'll just manually broach that in the lathe and to make it fit the motor shaft. However, before we do that, we need to have a little bit of a look at this pulley and I'll show you what's going on. So I'm sitting the pulley on top of my little surface plate here, and if I introduce my little engineer square, you can see that the pulley is actually convexed. So to give you an idea how far that shape is convexed around there, or curved around, if I just drop the feeler gauge in there, I'm getting about 50 thou. Okay, which is roughly about 1.2 mil. All right, so my problem here today will be whether or not I can hold that secure in the 4-jaw chuck. Now here's the electric motor that Grant wants to use on his great big linisher to give you an idea how big it is to my hand. There's our shaft there. The shaft is at 24 millimeters, just to show you. So when I put the mid-Italia verniers on it, I'm getting 24 millimeters. I'm a bit old school. I always like to check it manually anyway. I get caught out sometimes with digital verniers. So 24 millimeters on the money. So Grant's also got this black bar that he wants me to machine, and it's shit of a stuff, this stuff to machine. It's probably won't get a nice surface finish. It's got all mill scale over it and everything. And he's given me a list of sizes here that he wants me to machine up for him. So we'll see how that turns out as well. Righto, let's get into it. Time to head on over to the Colchester and let's get cracking. So I've got the black bar set up in the 3-jaw chuck here. I swapped out the carbide tool for a high-speed steel tool, and the reason that is the carbide didn't really want to cut this bar nicely. Now it's a shitty black bar, and switching over to the high-speed steel, because it was sharper, gave me a better feed. Now I'm machining these down to size, which is 22 millimeters OD. He's not critical on the outside diameter, so I'm within 20 or 30 micron, which is okay for this job. And what I'll do, I'll face these later, okay? I've got the dials set up here, the dial wheels. I don't have a DRO. This will be a 40 thou cut. Quick linis. Give that a quick wipe. Now we've got a little bit of heat in that, so the measurement will be a little bit bigger. Okay, so I'm 0.1 up there. Okay, so I'm oversized 0.1 of a mil. Just check the other end. Yep, and 0.08 up there, so I've obviously been getting a little bit of deflection. So what I've done here is just simply turn the bar around and feed it back through the headstock. These are going to be 90 mil long, I've got about 110 stick out. And when I'm done with that, I'll cut them off in the bandsaw. That will save changing tools. That way then, I can keep my dial figures. Now this is a bit naughty of me. I really should be parting these off in the lathe, but as you can see, I'm trying to knock these down quickly. So I machine one end, flip the bar around, machine the other end, and voila. I'll cut them off in the bandsaw, then trim them up in the lathe. I brought you over to the lathe because I found the faceplate from this machine, and I must say it was in a sorry state of repairs. It was covered in rust. I've given it a good clean up. I've got the dial gauge on there, and I'll take you around the back of the lathe and show you. Now we're looking at 2/10, so about 20 micron of run out, which is not bad over that distance. I had to clean up the back of the faceplate especially and stone it. This lathe came from a school and the silly buggers painted the back of it, and when I first put it on I was getting over 0.15 of a millimetre run out, which is unacceptable, so I'm happy with that. So to help me align this up, I've got it on the faceplate, got the finger dial on it, I've got the live centre right up its backside, pushing hard there, and I've been tapping it around and I've got it very, very close. It's not 100% accurate, but it's like 99% there. So I'll put some clamps on it now and then try and clock it on the inside. So here's the setup. Faceplate on, I've got a couple of 1, 2, 3 blocks underneath here. I've got the bolt, which is just threaded rod, running all the way through the 1, 2, 3 block, and that's to capture it so it doesn't fly off and hit me in the face. I've got a brass shim underneath here to protect the pulley. I've been tapping it around. It's as good as it's going to get. If we just go slowly, I'm not sure if you can see the dial. I'll have to reposition the camera. Like I'm splitting hairs here, I really am. Okay, so I do realise this does look a little bit Humpty Dumpty, and you're right. I don't have any tool steel the right size. I need an 8mm key, or the tool steel I've got 7.5. So I've had to pair up to parting off blades to get me at that size, and pair them together and drive it through here. I don't have an arbor press and I don't have any broaching equipment here. So unfortunately, it's just going to have to continue doing it this way. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm finished for today. I've got all the parts machined for Grant. These are all these round bars that he wanted machined down to a certain diameter and length. Now he didn't really give me a tolerance, so I worked within, plus or minus 0.1. The diameter's pretty right on the money. It'd be plus or minus, 0.05. And I machined it all out of that black bar, which is horrible shit to machine, and that's why I switched over to a nice sharp high-speed steel tool bit, all right, and ditched the carbide to do all the OD turning with a high-speed steel. I didn't have to touch it or tickle it throughout the whole run, but I noticed it was getting blunt because I had to go in an increment on the Colchester on the last couple to keep a consistent size. But overall, I was quite surprised how well the old Colchester still holds the sizes. She's a good old girl. You would have seen I've machined the pulley now, and that pulley was a prick. In hindsight, I probably should have put a piece of paper at the back of the pulley on the faceplate. Anyway, I didn't. What else was there? It's not bad. I've put it on here. The keyway, I'm not happy with the keyway. I should have broached it, but as I said in the video, I don't have a broach. I don't have an arbor press or a hydraulic press, so I had to do it Humpty Dumpty and use 2 pieces of parting tool, high-speed steel blades, and stack them together and then clamp them and come in on an angle to cut that keyway. Now it's aluminium, so it cut like butter. It wasn't hard, but I didn't. The keyway, I'm not happy with it. I give myself probably an 8 out of 10 for cutting that keyway because it looks a bit ugly. But it went on. The pulley went on. I had to give it a little bit of a hit with the soft face mallet to get it on. So I was happy with the diameter. So I must have been right on the money with the diameter. So it's a slight, very, very slight interference fit, or probably a transition fit actually, to be more precise. So not an interference, not a clearance, but a transition fit, which is size to size pretty much. As I spin that around, it's not bad. I did put a dial gauge on it, and I'm getting about 0.03 of a millimeter run out. Now, depending on where I put it on the pulley, of course I'll try to get it right in the center here, but watch that grub screw hole. I'll put a little tag on here to tell the owner that, hey, I've tightened the grub screw, but they need to check it themselves and adjust the pulley to fit, all that sort of stuff. But look, it's done and dusted. I can move on. So this was a little pain job. All up, it probably took me 4 hours work, to be honest with you. And that took a while because, actually it probably took longer than that. By the time I found the faceplate, I've never used the faceplate on the Colchester. It did come with the machine, but I reckon it was never fitted. I had to adjust the cam lock pins. They weren't out far enough. And then I stone the surface plate as well. So it's probably all up. It's probably taken me a good day's work to do all this, believe it or not. But anyway, unfortunately you can't charge for all your time, and plus I was making a video, so fair's fair, Alrighty, so look, hey, thanks for coming back and joining in, and by all means, if you're not already a subscriber, why don't you think about subscribing? If you like the work I do, by all means, click subscribe, click the bell. That way, then you'll get notified when the next video comes. All right, and please give us a thumbs up, eh? All right, or whatever, thumbs down if you don't like it. It's all good, not a problem. See you on the next Aaron Engineering video. Cheers. And to think my old high school teacher, Vinegar Tix, said I'd never amount to anything. Well, she was right. Oh, look at that. Bloody Max Grant would be proud of me. It's like sex on a stick.